Hey everyone, it's Alyce and welcome to July's episode of Hook a Duck TBR. Did I get June's TBR finished? No. So, the problem is I keep picking loads of books for Sean and me to read together and then we're not getting to them in time. And I'm reading more books than I'm supposed to, but we're not reading the books that were on the TBR. So I am still going to take a punishment this month, mostly because I didn't read last month's punishment pick, so I'm kind of taking a punishment for that. Normally we base it off of whether we've done the page count. I haven't worked that out yet because we're not filming our wrap-up for a good few days, but I do think that we have managed to hit the amount of pages we were supposed to read in June, so it's not the end of the world. But in June we were supposed to read Muse of Nightmares, and Bury Our Dead with Song, A Torch Against the Night, Twitch, A Court of Wings and Ruin, Delirium, and The Prison Healer. And out of those 7, we've managed to read Muse of Nightmares, Delirium, and The Prison Healer. So that's not too bad. We've read 3 out of 7, but we haven't read the other 4. We are filming this on the... I'm looking like the calendar's still there. The calendar's not still there. It's the 25th today. So I do still have 5 days of the month left, but I am starting a new job on Tuesday. So there is a chance that we won't be able to get the TBR finished. But I think we'll probably end up getting Bury Our Dead with Song read, and possibly Twitch as well, because they are both very short. So, punishment pick to start off. See what the Pot of Dreams gives us this time. Oh, I've got to carry on with a series of unfortunate events. Oh, okay, this month's not started off well. I mean, it's short and it's a middle grade, so that's not the worst thing. Basically, I tried to reread these in 2015, maybe 2016, and I got about halfway through and I realised that they're just very repetitive and I did not want to carry on rereading them. I've actually donated my copies since I put this in the punishment pot, so let's hope that I can either borrow them from a friend or find them on the library, like app might be available. But yeah, we'll be reading the next book. I believe I just finished The Hostile Hospital, so we'll be reading The Slippery Slope by Lemony Snicket. Or was it The Carnivorous Carnival? Reading somewhere around that bit. Grand. Shouldn't have taken a punishment. I should have just let it slide, been like, we did the page count, that's all that matters. But it's fine. So without further ado, let's get to hooking those ducks. I'm about to start hooking for July's Hook a Duck episode. Gonna shuffle our prompt cards and pop them down just here. We're gonna aim for 6 ducks. Once again, if we get 3 of the same colour in a row, then we have to pick an extra duck, or if we knock a duck over, then we have to add a duck on. So let's go. Duck number 1. Is a silver duck, and that will be a series continuation. So duck number 1 was a Dealer's Choice duck, and the Dealer's Choice duck was a series continuation. Now this worked perfectly because I told Sean I wanted us to read more of our library books this month, and one of the books that we have out from the library is Potkin and Stubbs Ghost Catcher by Sophie Green. This is the 3rd and final book in the Potkin and Stubbs series. We read the first 2 last year, read the second one for Believeathon in November, and meant to carry on with the 3rd one, and never did. The good thing about these is that they are illustrated, so they're a lot skinnier than they look. It's a very quick read. I think we read the first 2 in either a day or 2, so this should be a nice speedy one to get through. On to duck number 2. Duck number 2 is an orange duck. That's a sci-fi duck. And that sci-fi duck will be our newly purchased. And duck number 2 was a sci-fi newly purchased book. I could only think of one that actually fulfilled this prompt, and that was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. We hauled this last month in our bumper over 300 book haul, so I will link that up in the cards for you if you haven't seen that yet, because that is a mess. This is Andy Weir's 3rd novel, and it's now going to be the first one of his that I've read, because I haven't read either of the other 2, even though I've owned them both for years. I don't know anything about this. It's spacey. People like Andy Weir. I mostly bought this for Sean because Sean likes Andy Weir, and it was a signed copy on Waterstones, so I thought I'd pre-order it for him. And now we're reading it together in July, which is much quicker than I thought we would be. On to duck number 3. Duck number 3 is a blue duck. That's an adult duck. If I can get that to come clear at all. And that adult prompt will be a newly purchased. And duck number 3 was an adult newly purchased duck, which also does not work well for ticking off library books, but that's okay, because it means that I get to read Glorious Rock Bottom by Bryony Gordon. So this is a non-fiction book about Bryony's addictions to drugs and alcohol, and the fact that by hitting rock bottom she realised that she had a problem and she was able to turn her life around and save herself. I've got Bryony Gordon's The Wrong Knickers, and I haven't read it yet. But I've heard really good things about her writing, and I picked this up free at a jumble trail last month, so it'll be good to get to it. It also looks quite short, and non-fiction normally just flies by. Yeah, it's under 300 pages, and I normally fly through non-fiction, so this will be a nice little kind of palette cleanser with some very dark topics, but a nice palette cleanser between some of the more sci-fi stuff that we're reading, I guess. Doesn't have The Wrong Knickers on the back, and I'm wondering whether that's not actually her. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, that's fine. On to duck number 4. Duck number 4 is a green duck, and that's a young adult duck. And that young adult prompt is read this colour. So that means we have to read a green book. And duck number 4 was a young adult duck, and this was a read this colour duck. So we've decided to roll over A Court of Wings and Ruin. As I said, we were supposed to read it in June. We didn't. I would still really like to read this as soon as possible, because we read A Court of Mist and Fury in May. Ended up really enjoying it and flying through it despite the fact that it was very long. This is the 3rd and final book in the original trilogy, but the series has now been continued. And yeah, I want to get this read. It's just we haven't had time to pick it up this month. I wish we had, because I've even got it separated out into like weekly sections for reading. But what I think we'll probably do, because I'm starting my new job, is we might read a few chapters of this every evening when I get home from work, and then we can make sure that we're on the kind of week break when I've got my days off, so we don't have to worry too much about squeezing this one in next month. On to duck number 5. Duck number 5 is an orange duck again, so that's another sci-fi duck, and this sci-fi prompt is old TBR. And duck number 5 was another sci-fi duck, and this was a sci-fi old TBR. So again, we are rolling one over, and we're rolling over Cinder by Marissa Meyer. So I picked this one out of my Punishment Pot last month as a retelling. I really want to read this, and it's super duper short, but I think I'm just getting a bit psyched out by the fact that it's part of a longer series. So in my head I'm thinking, no, I don't want to start that yet, because I've got Winter up on my shelf over there, and it is so thick, the final book. And it's just putting me off starting the first one, but we're gonna do it. Yeah, I should have probably prioritised reading this first because it was a punishment pick, but I am a mess, and a mess I be. So Cinder by Marissa Meyer is getting read in July. And also, I read Heartless at the beginning of the year, and I had a lot of comments from people saying that they loved Cinder, and that if I enjoyed Heartless, I would love Cinder. And I really enjoyed Heartless. I gave it 4 stars. So Cinder might be a new favourite for me. So I'm excited. And it's definitely sci-fi, because Cinderella is a cyborg. Android? Cyborg. Yeah. So that's very futuristic. And sci-fi-y. And on to our last duck. And last but not least, duck number 6. Unless I knock one over, which I hopefully won't. Duck number 6 is another young adult duck. And this young adult prompt is highest rated. And our last duck was a young adult highest rated. Now, I am cheating on this one a little bit, because I went on Goodreads and I went on my want to read list and I looked at my highest rated, and the highest rated young adult book that I have on there that is currently out is Anyway the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell. But wait, it's not currently out, it's coming out in 12 days, which means that's the 7th of July, I think. I've got a week at the beginning of July when it won't be here. My Waterstones copy might not necessarily make it here exactly on time. So we're going to roll that over and read that in the future, because it's not out yet, because the second highest rated is Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar, which I just so happened to haul this month. And you won't have seen that yet, because our haul's coming up next week, so make sure to subscribe and check back for that if you're interested in seeing what else I acquired this month. But this has got the gorgeous sprayed edges from Waterstones, like the stenciling is just so beautiful. And this is the second highest rated out of all of the young adults already out, so I get to read this in July. As far as I'm aware, Felix Ever After is about a trans main character who is coming out, and they're still in high school, so it's about like the acceptance and fitting in at high school, while also having that different perspective to offer. I just know that this was really, really hyped last year. Lots and lots of people recommending it. And I've heard a lot of things about Case and Calendar's writing. Very, very good things. And I haven't had a chance to pick up any of their books yet. So Felix Ever After is going to be my first one. But I do have, I want to say it's called Empress of the Snake. I can see the cover in my head. It's got like a person with like a snake. I'll get Sean to put the cover up. But I got that on my Kindle Daily Deal a few months ago. So if I love this one, I will soon be picking up that one as well. So, yay! I get to read a brand new book that I just bought myself. Definitely not managing to read library books though. So I'm going to have to try and squeeze some of those in this month too. But there you have it. This is Anne Potkin and Stubbs. I put that on the floor. This is what our July TBR is looking like so far. That's not too bad. Now you consider the fact that I need to read Project Hail Mary, A Court of Wings and Ruin, Cinder and Potkin and Stubbs with Sean, and I'm going to be working full time. Already not looking like it's going to be likely, but I'll probably read A Series of Unfortunate Events book by myself. So, I mean, it's almost an equal split, and it means I'll be able to squeeze in my library books while I'm on the bus. I've got 3 weeks of training in Oxford, so I'm going to be on like a 2-hour bus journey there and back every day. So I've got plenty of reading time, considering I'm starting a new job, but just not with Sean. You'll have to check back at the end of the month and see how we do. And next month's TBR will be our Ketchup-a-thon TBR. So that's going to be even wilder, because we're going to have to try and fit our Ketchup-a-thon prompts so that we can get our own sauce badges, and also fit our hooker duck prompts, and also fit in with me working. So whether it'll work, we will all have to wait and see. If you like this video, please like it, and if you would like to subscribe, we'd be super duper grateful. If you're planning on picking up any of these books this month, then please let me know down in the comments. And if you've read any of these books and you would recommend them, let me know as well. Convince me which one I should pick up first, because that will probably help us get through them. Thank you so much for watching as always, and we post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, so if you'd like to see more content from us, please pop back within the next couple of days, because we will have another wonderful video for you. And that's it for us today. Bye! And out of those 7, we've managed to read Delirium, The Prison Healer, and Muse of Nightmares. I'm going to try that again.